Hi, I'm Christian Guzman, and I approve of the Board Shorts and Banter podcast.
What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the Board Shorts and Banter podcast. Today we have a very special guest. He doesn't wear board shorts, but he is the king of banter. It's Mr. Yemi, IFBB Pro.
Yes, sir.
Classic Physique IFBB Pro.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. We've been wanting to get you on for quite some time, Yemi, but I feel like now is literally
The best time.
literally the perfect time to
I
get
want
you
to
on.
get you on for some time, but right now you have the most possible eyeballs on you. So let's get on now.
We waited for you to get top 5.
Right now.
This is what bodybuilding does, mate. You can go and negotiate or renegotiate all your contracts based off of the weekend result and be like, look, bro, you know that I'm a top 5 guy, top 4 guy in the pros now. You need to give me the big money.
Moved up. You got me when I just got my pro card. Now it's time.
Now it's time. Now it's time.
I think that most brands that I work with don't have the like Gymshark, for example. They don't care. If I was Mr. Olympia, then that would change everything. But I think from pro card winner to top 5 placer isn't enough yet. I think I need to bridge that gap a little bit more to get a little bit better of contract.
Oh, mate, for sure. I think when you start winning shows, winning pro shows, that's when the big money starts coming, or the moderately sized money, because obviously you'll get prize money and then you'll just get shitloads more attention than what you do when you
need to win is the sales.
Yeah, definitely.
100%. But mate, obviously, I'm sure a lot of people that are listening to this know of you, Yemi. But for anyone that doesn't know, if you were just meeting someone for the first time, right? You're at a bar, you come up, you meet someone, you like the look of them. What would you say to them? Who are you?
Listen, my name's Yemi. I've got a massive... No, I'm joking.
Did
you say a massive waistline? You don't. It's tiny.
I got
bungalow waist.
What would be the way that I would introduce myself? That's a great question, actually. So I think the way I would introduce myself is I'm assuming that this is not in a club situation, because I wouldn't do that.
You can try and sleep with our listeners if you want, mate. I'm sure some of them will be up for it.
Hit me up in the DMs. You got a fat ass. People are gonna be like, "Yo, this man is terrible. How do you have to?" I do not perceive myself well here. But anyway, what would I say? I would say that I am probably one of the best UK pros right now. I am probably one of the most driven people you will probably meet. I probably have one of the biggest no quits that you will probably see in the longest, in the vicinity, in the sense of I don't think that what got me here was being, having a small waist or having a great shape or things of that nature. Mm-hmm. I think what really got me here was being able to take L's and use them to get better. Because a lot of people I've seen, once they get a result they don't want, it typically just turns to, okay, I'm just going to go back into off season, or I'll just try again later, or just quitting as a whole. Whereas for me, it's not, for example, if someone else got what I got in, Alicante, or even just before I won my pro card, when I lost, a novice class and then lost, my class in the regional, they probably wouldn't have gone for the pro card, because it's a fair amount of money that you're gonna have to spend to do these shows and stuff like that. But in my head, I was like, I know I'm good enough to get this card, so I just kept on going, and obviously I got what I wanted. So that's what I think is really what sets me apart from most people. It's less about being able to be good at it and really just not be able to take no as an answer.
Brilliant. Right, so sticking on that then, where has that come from? Have you always been like that, or is it just been a case of I don't know, you've got such a high expectations of yourself that you'll refuse to stop until you've met those expectations?
You know what, right? I think it all comes from, and I'll be completely honest here, my mum is probably been the biggest inspiration when it comes to just how I approach life. you know, she came to this country. You know, so she was born here, but then she grew up in Nigeria. But she came back to this country, and like by the time she had come back, she didn't have the means to get like a council flat and stuff like that because somebody like basically used her name to get a council flat out their name and stuff like that.
Mad.
So basically, my mum was homeless when she came to the UK, and you know she just grafted and grafted and grafted, and now you know I'm back home right now. That's why you can see pictures of my mum on the wall and shit. And you know she owns this house now. You know she went from homeless to homeowner. And just watching somebody just absolutely relentlessly go after something day after day is what really pushed me and made me understand that, like, you know, it's not about the situation you're in, it's about the situation you want to be in. And all you got to do is just consistently work towards getting that. And, you know, every time you make a step forward, regardless of how it feels, regardless of whatever, you know, it's always a step forward, right? Like, you know, just going on prep, you know, if you want to be a professional bodybuilder and you're going on prep for your, you know, your second prep or your third prep, you're going for your card, you know, you just going on that prep is just alone, no matter what the result is, it's enough to say that you are pushing yourself forward to being the person that you want to be, right? Because at the end of the day, you don't get a pro card for whatever you look like in the gym. You know, you get a pro card for being on stage. So it's like you have to actively and relentlessly go after it and consistently get on that bodybuilding prep and get on stage and do what it takes to actually be a professional bodybuilder and act like a professional bodybuilder. So yeah, like I would say that it all came from that. Then obviously I did sports and stuff like that. And like whenever you play sports, no matter how good you are, like, you know, whatever your baseline, you know, talent is within sport, maybe you have great hand-eye coordination, or maybe you are just quite athletic, there is going to be a wall that you come to. Everyone gets this, right? In bodybuilding, you probably had it. In basketball, I had it. It's like a wall where you go, okay, for me to get from where I am right now to where I want to get to, it's going to take a whole bunch of practicing. It's going to take a whole bunch of practice jump shots. It's going to take a whole bunch of dribbling, a whole bunch of running on the street to make my stamina go up. It's going to take a whole bunch of press ups. It's going to take getting stronger, getting bigger, whatever, you know, wherever you lack in, it's going to be your focus. And it's exactly the same with where we are here now. Like, you know, I just thought, fuck, I need to keep on going. Where do I actually lose out? Where do I win? And then you kind of just assess that and then kind of, you know, use that to, you know, leverage yourself and get better and better and better. You know, you can be quite strategic in the way you approach life, but at the end of the day, right, nothing can really prepare you for what's going to actually come forward, because you just don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. You don't know what's going to happen in the next 10 weeks, you know, 13 weeks, 14 weeks. So you just have to keep on pushing and, you know, forget a plan, you know, just go with how it comes day to day. You know, so many people are wrapped up in, okay, it has to be like this. And if it's not like this, I'm fucked. But it's like, it's never always going to be like that. So you just have to keep on going and learn to just adapt.
Yeah. So obviously now then, it's like within the last few years since winning your pro card, I feel like that's when you really picked up a lot of, like, you know, momentum. And it's, you know, people only pay attention when you start doing well. You know, They don't see like what's led on to you now, Yemi, that everyone knows now. But right now then, give us like a bit more background. So how old are you right now, and how long have you actually been bodybuilding for?
So I'm 30 now. I'm gonna be 31. Fuck me, in a couple of months.
Dried out, mate. You dried out already.
Yeah, you're washed, bro. You're washed. You're like us.
Yeah,
washed out.
I might as well just be natty. But yeah, I've been training since I was 24, 25.
So that's late, isn't it?
Late bloomer.
That's late.
Super late bloomer. So I was playing basketball for like until I was like 19, 20. Then I realized I wasn't gonna make it in the NBA, obviously. So then I just like, you know, the height thing. Yeah. So I was just like, all right, fuck it. I just like I was making music and stuff like that, right? So I was just doing that and just traveling and like enjoying life a little bit. And then kind of just got to a point where I was just like doing nothing with my life, just playing video games all day and just had no drive, no nothing. Then one day my mum was just like, listen, I'm going to get you a job in the gym because I'm sick and tired of seeing you at the house. And for 6 months of working at that gym, I did not pick up a weight. I did not train at all. I think there was like 1 or 2 times when I went into the gym. One of the times I remember I got super pissed off with one of the members because we was like changing the lockers and giving everyone a free padlock, and we had to take everyone's names. so we could just sign off the fact that they have a padlock. And one of the members came in and made it like a massive thing for me to get his name. He's like, you should know my name. You should do this. I was like, brother, there is thousands of members in this gym. I just don't know your name. Please tell me so I can just thing off. Anyway, it became a massive argument. I was arguing with this guy for about half an hour. Got annoyed. I went downstairs and did some bicep curls and felt better. And I was like, you know what? This is actually all right. But then, like, as it came on, I was just like, no, I'm not going to go to the gym. Then people just kept on telling me my mom's arms are bigger than mine. So I was like, you know what? This is some bullshit. So I'm going to just go train. And then eventually, I was like, you know what? I'm going to make a change because I was a very impatient person. So I said, all right, I'm going to do two things to make myself more patient, right? It's not really worked that well, but I think I'm more patient than I used to be. But I was going to grow my hair and I was going to start the gym. So I started my locks and then I started training. And at the same time, and then that was like a thing that I was gonna do and be like, all right, this is gonna be my marker. You know, the longer my hair gets, the more patient I've been, right? Because you just don't grow hair in a week, and like, you know, my hair particularly is quite stubborn when it comes to getting length on it. So it was just more me being like, yeah, I'm just gonna use this to, like, you know, make myself a better person from, you know, all aspects. I was looking at my weaknesses as a human. And then I just said, fuck, I'm just going to, you know, make an effort to change that and become the best person I could possibly be, which, you know, I feel like I'm still on that journey now. But, you know, we've made strides towards, you know, being closer to that. So I'm proud of that.
Mate, that's such a unique measurement of time, like how long your hair gets. I've never heard that before. Brilliant. Right? Right then, so start training at 24. What was like your first, I don't know, introduction into a gym? Was it a proper hardcore bodybuilding gym that you were working out, or was it literally like pure gym, the gym group, that kind of shit?
You ever heard of Fitness First?
Yeah.
I have, yeah.
Yeah, I was working in the Fitness First, and that was my first gym.
Mate,
nice.
There's something about Fitness First. You know, can you remember Neil Curry?
Of course. And listen, do you know how I first knew about who Neil Curry is?
So was he like your area manager or?
My area manager, right? But my area manager comes up to me, starts telling me about Neil. So I was on my first prep, right? And I was like pretty close. I might have been like a month out or 2 weeks out, 2 or 3 weeks out. And like, he comes up to me and goes, oh yeah, like, you know, just don't get on the gear. Obviously I was 90 at the time. He's like, don't get on the gear and stuff like that. You know, you're going to like fuck yourself up like Neil. And then he showed me a picture of Neil and I see this guy. I'm like, yo, he looked fucking crazy.
Fucked himself up.
Not to look like that.
I weren't going to do gear, but now I am. Yeah, thank you for inspiring me.
Thanks, Neil.
Like that. I'm taking some steroids.
That is mad.
So how many years into training then was your first prep? And your first prep was completely natural, yeah?
Well, my first prep was a year into training. I started training in January. And then by the next May, I started my first prep.
Jesus Christ.
And I won that show and I beat some guys on gear.
Jesus Christ, Yemi. So what was like your starting point? Do you remember how much you weighed?
Yeah, I weighed about, when I first started training, I weighed about 65 kilo.
How much do you weigh now on stage?
On stage, I was about 95.
Wow.
Josh, I know this is a kind of like a natural podcast, but I mean,
that's just pretty wild.
The story's repeating itself now. I've seen you, Yemi. You saw photos of Neil, and you were like, "That's it, I'm going." Yeah. Josh, I've looked at a few pictures of Yemi now. I think I might be time.
It's time.
It's contagious.
That is absolutely wild. So, obviously, from like early on, then, did you notice like a pretty good response from training?
It's saying like this. By the time I started my first off season, I was 90 kilo. I mean, by the end of my first off season, I was 90 kilo. So I had put on what
25?
Yeah, 25 kilos within like a year of training.
Jesus, was you in good shape at the end of it?
I was like a little chubby, but like good shape for most people. Like most people would look at that and be like, "Yeah, I would love to look like that."
Like, because your frame to me, like you've got like a very fine frame, like small, tiny little joints. Yeah. So to put on that amount of weight in that amount of time is crazy, man.
Yeah, legit. Like I remember, like I was training for like maybe like 4 or 5 months, and like everyone just thought I was on gear, which understandably so now. And like one guy comes up to me, he's like, "Bro, like," and I was just doing like a row. he was like, I need to film this and show you what you're doing, because I don't think you realize how much muscle you put on. And I was like, okay, sure. And I did a set, he filmed it. And obviously back then I wasn't filming content or anything like that. He filmed the set for me, and I was looking at it, and like you could just see like my entire, like my back was just like a Dorito for real. Because obviously when I first, like, it just was like this, and I was like, holy shit, like I've made some fucking stupid progress. I even remember walking down the street once, and I was wearing like a big old jacket, and some guy was like, ooh, I can't fit down the road with you. And I was thinking, what are you talking about? Like, I wasn't even joking.
What are you talking about?
I was like,
just walking around doing your front lat spread. You can walk past me easy, bro.
yeah, well, like, bro, come on. But then, like, well, obviously, then, like, when I did the first prep, you know, I didn't really want to be a pro when I did the first prep. My mum competes, so let me show you actually.
Oh, no way.
So these are all my mum's trophies right there.
Your mum's got more trophies than you, bro.
Mum's got way more trophies than me. She even got a pro card in the Elite Pro. And,
Mad.
Wow.
You are literally like, yeah, so like when you were saying that your mum had bigger arms than you, they weren't lying.
No, they weren't.
It weren't an insult.
It was
That's why
true.
I actually went to the gym, because if it wasn't the case, I would just not gone to the gym. She genuinely had bigger arms than me, so I actually had to tell you that bigger arms than my mum.
This
Like,
is
Wild.
this is what you get for instead of eating Doritos and playing games. Now you are now the Dorito.
Yeah, exactly. I went from eating Doritos to becoming Dorito.
Yes.
So yeah, like I remember being like, you know, if I was 90 kilo on stage, I'd probably be like, because obviously when this is like 2018, so the Classic was still wearing the big shorts and stuff like that. It didn't look the same as it does now. I remember being like, yeah, I could probably get to like a pro card at 90 kilo. And then, because obviously I got to 81 on my first prep for like when I was like peeled. I was like 81. So I was like, yeah, I think if I was like 10 kilos up, I could probably get a pro card. Then like I won the first show, and I was like, as soon as I came off stage, I was like, yeah, I'm doing this for the rest of my life. Like, you know, when you just have like a moment where it just kind of clicks. My moment was like the minute I came off stage, I just remember having the trophy in my hand and like the medal around my neck. And like at the time, especially, like I was very particular. Like I wouldn't kiss a girl in front of my mum and stuff like that. And I was with like a girl I'd seen at the time. I remember just going up to her and just giving her a fat kiss in front of my mum. It was so awkward. Oh my god! I was just so fucking like adrenaline, like up the time. And I was like, yeah, this is what I want to fucking do for the rest of my life. Legit.
Look at me, mum.
Holding your trophy, holding your girl.
But like, yeah, then like. And obviously, like, then COVID happened the next year. So I was like, well, I guess I'm not going for the card this year. Then, like, obviously, 21, everything started to open up. So, like, when we was in that latter end of, remember March, like that March lockdown where it's kind of like eased up? I was like training in that Fitness First. Like, it all started in, funny enough, actually, because I had left that gym and like gone to work somewhere else. But the GM that I was working with in the other Fitness First I had moved to, he moved back to the Streatham one that I was working at before. And he then he just let us train throughout the entire lockdown, or that last half of that lockdown.
What a boy.
Started my first cycle like on the last 2 weeks of that. Then obviously I did the prep, did the first Arnold Classic in the UK, got third in my class there. I won my class at the regional, but I didn't win the overall. That's where I met Joe Richardson. We both was in the overall for that show. And then obviously Kaya won that overall, which like, fuck that guy. Like, I need my revenge. And he's like telling me, oh, I'm too big for Classic. Just get into Classic, mate, and we'll rematch. You know what I mean? Get a pro card and then just run it back. Anyway, if you hear Kaya, run it back. But yeah, then obviously like the next year I was like, I'm gonna get the pro card at the Arnolds. Then like I started my prep a little bit earlier, and then I was like, okay, well, we could just try and get it at the British. And then that's how I actually met Niall, because that's where he got his card.
One Punch Naz.
One Punch Naz, exactly. I didn't even get to do that pro qualifier because they had changed the rules. So the year before, it had to just be within 12 months. But in that year, they changed it to in the calendar year. And I didn't see it. My coach didn't see it. In hindsight, my coach should have known. because that's your job, and it was on the website. So we just ended up like just doing the novice class there. So I thought I'd just win the novice class and then try and do a regional, and then you know what I mean. But didn't work that way. Didn't even win the novice. It was a massive kick in the teeth. Then obviously we did the regional, came back a lot sharper, and I thought, yeah, this is it. Then I didn't even win that class, and I was like, holy shit. I had 2 weeks to get, 13 days, because the pro qualifier for Classic was on Friday, and that regional was on Saturday, so I had 13 days to get, they told me I needed to be sharper in my lower back and glutes, so I had 13 days to do that. So me and Ross, so that's when I then started talking to Ross. Then like we basically did a bikini girl diet, and he pulled off about 5 kilos of me in about 10 days.
In 13 days? What?
So I had 13 days from the pro qualifier.
So 10 days, half kilo a day.
Yeah, but it was less than that because we still had 5 days to carb up.
Oh, so we're doing like 0.6, 0.7 of kg per day.
Yeah, about that.
Fucking hell, dude.
So fair to say, death protocol.
Bro, I actually felt like I almost went hypo twice on my way home from like the gym that was opening at the time.
Good effort, well done. It's obviously paid off.
Yeah.
Would you say that was like your toughest period of time in bodybuilding? Or on like a demand physically?
On the physical demand side, that was the hardest, but it didn't feel like it because one, I just didn't care. I just whatever it took to get there, I just was gonna do it. And two, it wasn't that long of a time.
Yeah.
So like, yeah, it was a hard dig, but it wasn't like a hard dig for like 3 months of digging or something like that, you know. Whereas like the island prep, I would say that was probably more demanding because like, well, I'll get to that in a bit, but I think island prep was a bit more demanding, but that was the most intensive time I've had to prep for because I was literally eating 1,400 calories. Like I didn't even know how much food I was eating. Ross just gave me my meal plan and took the calories out. I only found out how much food was eating like a year later when he was like, yo, do you want to see like what we did? And I was like, yeah. And it was like 1,400 calories. Like it was so fucking fucked. And I was just
Jeez.
It explains why I almost passed out twice. Like, you know, when you wake up and you have to eat like tilapia and fucking asparagus, like that's not a meal. That's not a meal one.
Yeah, literally.
I've never eaten tilapia ever in my life. I didn't think it was a real thing. I thought it was just something that Phil Heath did.
It's a real thing, and I haven't eaten tilapia since, I'll be honest.
Really? God.
Not once.
It's crazy though, isn't it? How like if you know how long you've got to deal with shit for, you will deal with any shit within that period of time.
Facts. And I think I don't know how to say this, but I feel like digging phases is fairly easy. I think the real issue isn't the digging phase where you're pushing really hard. I think it's the in between the digging phases where you're still hungry as fuck, but you have to like do this for like, you know, when you're like 5 weeks out, 6 weeks out, 4 weeks out, and you have to like eat like, I don't know. Let's just say like for example, like this last prep, I was eating like 2,500 calories, or no, like 2,800 calories. Now, obviously, that's a fair bit amount of food, but because I was lean, it just felt like I was hungry all the time. I was eating dinner for bed, you know what I mean? So like, I was eating dinner for my last meal. I was eating bed for my last meal, I meant to say, because I was so hungry. I had to just go sleep. So I was like, yeah, like this. So that was, you know, that I think that's a harder part than actually when you're digging hard, because you're just digging hard for 3-4 days, 5 days, and you're like, okay, this is done. Get a refresh and then go again.
That's it.
That's a lot easier than just having to like actually just starve for days and then with no end in sight.
Is that how you structure your preps then? Is it basically you'll decide what shows you're doing and then just set up a series of digging phases between the start of prep and then the end?
You know what we typically do, right? We typically pick the show that we're going to do. And then
2 weeks later, we do the show.
Yeah. So we pick a show, and then like depending on where we're at to the show, then we will decide if we need to like push harder or something. So for example, like I'll use Ireland as an example. Last year, I was about 5 weeks out, and Ross was just like trying to contemplate like what should we do, and I was just like, mate, just try and pull it off as quickly as possible. Like just bump up my cardio and put my food down, and we could just get it over and done with as quickly as possible. And then we can kind of figure out feeding. And then it ended up being in a position where then like I went from like digging for like, I don't know, 3-4 weeks to like feeding, and my feed food became my baseline because I was just losing so much weight.
Yeah.
Because we just did that hard dig. But then obviously like Emperor, we just ended up doing that because we was already there. Tyler was there, was getting close. We was like, fuck it, let's just jump in the show.
How many shows? How many pro shows have you done now?
Pro shows I've done. So I did the pro debut at the Arnold's, then I did Ireland, then I did
M-Pro,
and then I've done the Europa.
Right, and you're already cracking the top 5. That's pretty good. Yeah,
it's pretty good, especially because I've only been training for 6 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is absolutely mental. And it's like, that's the thing as well. I look at your physique and I feel like you just look fresh as well, because you started a bit later. Your body was like matured. You didn't start too young. I look at your physique and it does just look fresh. And I feel like it's always the best way to do it, It
looks like I only been training for 6 years.
Yeah, well, I mean...
not from a muscularity standpoint, but...
Not quite, but I mean, yeah, it looks like you got a lot of shelf life on you.
Yeah, exactly that. I still think I've got at least another 10 years of training. Another 10 years of competing, so I should say.
Yeah, there's so many people that get to your position and then it's like they've pushed gear to a certain point. They just look generally fucked. They train in such a way that like their bodies are quite fucked. And then they've got like probably 1 or 2 good preps left in them. Whereas, you are fresh as a daisy. So we can expect to see you on stage until you're like 41.
Yeah, see me like Dexter, just straight vampire shit, bro.
Is Dexter your dad?
Yeah, literally. He might be. I don't know that, man. Dexter?
He's on one of the photos behind you, I'm sure of it.
So, obviously, this prep so far, then, how long has this prep been this year?
Jesus, actually quite long. So, we've been on
6 weeks.
We've been on prep since May. May.
Yeah, because I remember seeing you like when I first met you at Frontline. Because if anyone doesn't know, Yemi trains at Frontline alongside myself. And
where all the goats train.
Yeah, with a real bodybuilders train, isn't he, Yemi?
Facts.
And I remember seeing you transition into prep, and you changed quickly, dude. Like in terms of your physique, just from the outside perspective, like you changed quickly. So how many weeks has it been then?
So it was 12, 17. So 7 plus 12. What's that? Like 21? 21?
19?
About anything between 19 and 21 weeks. It's been about. Yeah. But like, I think if you remember, right, like it was as if like we said, okay, I'm on prep, but my body was just like, we're on prep now. Because like legit, like I started prep and like within a week, I was just looking fuller.
Yeah.
It was so fucking weird. Like I remember even Jim was like, what the fuck is going on? Like you just say prep and all of a sudden your physique changes. Like, and I was like, yeah, I guess it's really something.
Yeah, I've got a switch on my arse and I just flick and then suddenly shrink wrapped. Yeah.
I mean, you're not going to tell people about that.
Oh shit! Sorry, the secret Yemi reset switch. That's up your ass.
Now they're gonna all know. Anyway, let's move on swiftly, right?
I were looking last night. I was obviously getting a photo up to do the Q&A thing on my stories, and we trained together in April. And how you look in April versus now, you would think that you've done a year's off season and then prep. It is crazy how your body responds to whatever it is that you're doing, whether it's training, gear, routine, whatever. Your body is so responsive.
I think the thing is, right, it's like I look shit in off season. I don't look shit, but it's like compared to when I'm lean, I look so much smaller. So like people will see me, they're like, oh, he's small. And I'm like, I get where you're coming from. And then just wait for me to like get ready. And then you'll see that I'm not that small. But that's typically what tends to happen. So like my body just shifts. But then on top of that, right, this is why Emperor was the biggest blessing ever. Because we had gotten so lean and then we had 12 weeks to get ready for the Europa, what we ended up doing was just saying, all right, fuck, obviously dieting for 12 weeks. It doesn't make any sense. So Ross just upped my food. My baseline was about 410 grams of carbs. And then I had an off plan every week.
Nice.
And then I had a few refeeds as well when I was getting flat. Because somehow I was getting flat on 400 carb. So as you do, right? So so we were just doing that and just rinsing and repeating. And I just think because I weighed in for the Emperor at 94 kilo.
Okay.
And then I weighed in at 95 kilo for the Europa.
Mad.
And obviously I was maybe 5 to 6 kilos sharper.
It's just mad. Yeah. Our bodybuilding brain's just kind of like trying to work all that out. That's a 2-year off season, mate.
Did you carb up harder for this show you've just done?
Like a lot harder because I couldn't carb up you can't carb up fat, you know.
Yeah, well that's it. That's that combination of how you look so much fucking better is obviously you managed to pull off a massive chunk of body fat, but then you managed to push a lot more food in as well.
But the thing is, you still actually put on some actual weight because my lowest was 92, and that was like after a very hard dig. So we was digging for like 5 days, and we stopped, and then we digged again for another 5 days. And then that pretty much we was meant to do that, and then we ended up just having to just do the 5 days, and it was enough.
Yeah. So give us what was you about to say, Josh?
My clients that are listening to this that I've done digging phases with, the shortest dig that I would ever do for anyone is like 7 days, and then some digs are like 2 weeks. They'll be listening to this going 5 days. Jesus. Yeah, I am sorry. It's part of being natty.
Yeah, it's being natty.
So give us a rundown then of how the most recent show went, because obviously since then, mate, obviously there's been a lot of eyes on you as well, isn't there?
Yeah, a lot of eyes. It's been very fun. So yeah, like I think the best way to start off is just the lead up to it. So like, you know, obviously we were just kind of like just trying to build up a bit of momentum because like last prep, I was just going viral, just viral. And this prep, it just wasn't working out like that. Like I just wasn't getting the virality that I wanted or that I had seen prior. So I was just like, I have 2 options, right? I can either quit or I could just say, fuck the numbers and just post for it. So I just said, all right, I had my cameraman, Matty, and I said, listen, we're just going to absolutely rinse content this entire weekend. So we just kept on just posting and posting. Like if you like normally whenever somebody's doing a show, they'll just post like 1 or 2 updates. Maybe they'll do a 1 day out or 2 day out and then they'll kind of just chill out. But we were just like, I think I had posted like my night 1 day out, my like from 2 days out, I think I posted night and day. I posted, you know, morning check-ins, evening check-ins, just was constantly just posting pictures throughout the day, pictures that we had done check-ins in throughout the day and stuff like that. Just to kind of just keep everything just
mate, yeah, you posted a lot of content in a very short. What's that? 9 posts in a little over 2 days.
Yeah,
nice.
Fucking hell.
I was like, listen, like no one shows what bodybuilding preps are like. You know, no one show like even on my YouTube, I got the peak week video. I've got a 48 hours video out, and then I'm gonna be posting the show day video. And it's just like, we want to show people what bodybuilding is because no one knows what it is, right? Like, you can't tell me what most of these guys are doing because no one's doing this. Like, no one's got a cameraman following them apart from CBUM. And it's like quite embarrassing to see because no one goes to bodybuilding shows, right? So leverage, you know, let people see what bodybuilding is because, you know, past that room, what's people going to see? A couple updates on the internet.
Yeah. I think one of the hardest things with like documenting a prep is the turnaround time from doing the show, shooting the video and getting it out there. Like you've almost got like a sell by date on how long it's valid for. Because if you post your Europa video in 2 weeks' time, it's going to be the Olympia weekend. No one's going to give a shit.
I was gonna care.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's
That's why
the
we had to
turnaround.
on the ball. Which, shouts out to Mai if he sees this. Shouts out to you because you smashed out being able to turn around. Because most of these guys, they don't turn around like you do, mate. So well done. Because it's a massive thing, man. Because like everything, even like I was talking to Cooper, right? Because we did some pictures like what was I like 4 days out or 3 days out? We did some pictures for Explosive Fibers, and like he took some pictures for me. And even when he sent me them, I was getting my hair done. He sent me them, and then I was like, and he was like, post them now, bro. I was like, yeah. I need to just get home. He's like, listen, post them as soon as you can because they are gonna be irrelevant tomorrow. I was like, right, and that's just the reality of the fast moving, cycle of social media.
Yeah.
So if you post something 3 days out and you're 2 days out, no one gives a fuck.
Yeah. No one gives a fuck when the show's already been and gone. Everyone knows how you've done, where you've placed, and who you went up against.
Yeah.
So social media is tough.
Social media is tough, but I think it's one of those things where if you fucking master it, mate, like, I don't think I've mastered it yet, but if you master it, man, like you can read, like the sky is the limit.
Yeah.
You can, because like I remember saying to Ross when I was in the chat with him, and like my situation is improved a far bit, but it's not where I want it to be. But like I was like struggling quite a lot financially at the time. And I remember saying to Ross, like, I go to shows, bro, and like everyone's driving these nice whips and wearing these nice tracksuit bottoms and shit. Like, brother, I thought there was no money here, but everyone's got money apart from me. What am I doing wrong?
It's crazy, isn't it? I like. Not saying like me and Tom do bad at all, but we go to shows and it's like you see people driving around in like 100k plus cars, and you're like, what the friggin' hell are you doing that we aren't? Like,
it's like a whole missing thing there. Like,
yeah,
like, it just shows to me that like the world is my oyster because the people that are doing this, they don't have my physique. They don't have, my ability when it comes to social media, my knowledge.
Yeah.
So if they're doing that with like not what I can do, then imagine when I can fucking master it.
Yeah.
Give me one second. My laptop is literally on like low battery. 1 second.
All right, mate. Tom, pause it. I need a wee.
Are we rolling?
We're rolling.
We're back. Right, where were we, guys?
That's a great question.
That is a very good question.
Jesus
I think
Christ,
we're talking about. My brain's just gone. I've just had to army crawl across the kitchen because Annabella's on a Zoom call and I didn't want to be in the background of it. So I'm covered in dust.
Yemi, angle your phone up just a little bit more.
Yeah, that's just
we're missing your lovely hair, dude. There we go.
It's a whole bunch of crutch.
I'm quite enjoying it.
We haven't paid you enough for that, dude.
Yeah,
we'll get you on again next time.
Coming soon, boys.
Yeah.
Jesus. Right. Yeah. So where were we? What are we talking about?
We're talking about like social media going viral.
Yeah, the social media game going viral. That was it.
Yes. I was saying that without the I think the last thing I was saying was just that a lot of people are making a fair bit of money without even having the same physique, without having the same ability on social media. So it just showed me that like the ability is there to make a good career from this.
Yeah. You just got to play to your strengths, mate. Like, you'll see some people that are, don't necessarily have the best physique or whatever, but they, for some reason, have fantastic coaching abilities, and that's their superpower, versus yourself. I feel like it's your obviously your physique, but also your personality is very unique. So it's just like play to those strengths, man.
Yeah.
I think that's what the fitness world needs a little bit more, like some actual decent personalities that are actually good athletes as well, because there's so many people that have got great personalities and then are actually pretty shit at the bodybuilding thing. And then you've got the opposite where someone's got a good physique and then they're absolute weirdos.
Yeah. All the time. And this is where you get like the Chris Bumsteads who have got like best physique, top physique in the world, and then they've also got like a very relatable personality, someone that's down to earth, but then also someone like you said, there's not enough eyes on bodybuilding. He shows quite a lot of that, like of his own personal life, and I feel like that's his superpower. Just how relatable he is. So yeah, man, it's just all about playing to your strengths, isn't it?
Yemi, are you using the mic on your laptop?
Yeah, is it buoy?
Just move it a little bit closer to you. Bosh.
Is that better?
Oh, that's better.
Okay, great.
Oh,
It's
there
not
we
hanging
go.
on the edge of my table, but we'll deal.
It falls. It falls. That's just one of them things.
It's about the content. This is about content.
Oh dear. Right. So plans going forward. I saw it on your Instagram that you're doing the Two Bros Pro.
Two Bros Pro Brit. Well, it's the One Bro Pro Pro Show.
Why do they call it the One Bro Pro?
Because Ian's One Bro, so it's his show.
Right.
So we're doing Ian's Pro Show.
Is there another bro, or is it just Ian now?
From what I can gather, that the brand itself was actually run by two bros, and then Ian took it over.
Right. Okay. It now makes sense.
Yeah. So
the One Bro Pro Show.
I'm doing the Trained by JP British Finals. It's gonna be fun.
In the wonderful town of Rotherham.
I'm gonna make sure we don't get robbed.
Where are you staying?
I haven't thought that far yet.
Right. You know Ash at Gymshark?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's competing in it, doing the amateur. Yeah. So you can just go and spoon with him, mate. He's stopping in a really nice hotel in Rotherham.
Of course he is.
Of course he is.
To be fair, I might just now that you've actually mentioned it, Max told me he lives in a mansion, so I have to just utilize the
Myron Max.
Yeah.
Get in there.
I don't think he lives too far away either from the venue.
That's amazing.
Yeah, so there you go.
Well, there we go, Max. If you're listening, mate, you've got a you've got
a roomie.
You have a guest. You have me, you have Ross, you have Liam, and you have Matty coming. We divide ourselves.
Congratulations.
What date is that show?
It's it's talk dates.
Is it 10 weeks?
It's not. It's like 31 days. So.
Oh, great.
4 weeks out, baby.
Massively reduce your prep.
It's on the 19th of October.
Is this show like a qualify? So what is okay?
The qualifier for 2025.
Yeah, the 2025 Olympia qualifier.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay, so that is the goal then, obviously, is to qualify for next year's Olympia. And
so the goal is to win the show, qualify next year, and then we'll just take an entire year off and then come back at the cap.
Imagine if you're able to do that. That would be like the amount of growth that you could do over a 9-month off season would be crazy based off of how much you've grown during prep.
So I had about a 24-week off season total, and we put on 7 kilo.
Jesus Christ.
It's not bad. That's not bad going.
Yeah, that's not bad at all, Yemi, mate.
Yeah.
So with this next show then, obviously, would you keep going if you don't get the qualification in this next show?
No, if I don't get the qualification, then we'll just go for a later show in the year next year.
Yeah.
Cool. So you're still going to be...
You still have a year to grow.
Yeah, you're still going to make sure you get that off-season in and obviously improve. Did you get any feedback from the judges in the last show you just did?
So, because obviously I'm in London, I haven't spent that much time with Mum, I didn't wait. I have sent Tyler an email, but I haven't got a reply yet. So once I get some feedback. But I'll be honest and say I know exactly what to do.
Yeah.
Because I think it was clear as day, When it comes to, I think if you was there and they gave me the win, I don't think a single person in the crowd would have complained. So that means that there was only 2 separating factors between me and the winners. Conditioning and size.
Yeah.
They weren't so drastically bigger than me. But with that being said, if I had big quads, bigger hamstrings, more arms, and a deeper back, with, Let's just say 5 kilos on there with the same conditioning. I'm going to look sharper. I'm going to look harder. And it's impossible to beat me with that much more muscle. Because it wasn't, you don't see that and go, yeah, there's 5 kilos difference between these guys.
If you can do that, you know, add 5 kilos of muscle on to your quads, to your hammies, your back, a little bit more in your arms. I can't think of someone in Classic right now that you can be compared to on like a look front. Like, I think Classic, part of the, like, you know, the top dogs, they've got something that's extremely unique to them.
Yeah.
So if you're able to do that, obviously maintain your teeny tiny waist and crazy shape, you're going to be so unique that it will be hard not to reward the physique.
I think clearly I was rewarded this weekend, you know, or the weekend we just had, for having the shape, you know.
Yeah.
So with a little bit more muscle, it's impossible to not do that and give the win. You know, it will be I think from next year onwards, I will be a nightmare to see in the lineup. If you get your lineup and you see my name there, you're going to be like, I fucked it.
That's it. The new name, Yemi the Nightmare.
It's got a ring to it.
Went from the dreamer to the nightmare. Good.
Yeah. Oh, Yemi, that is the next incarnation of yourself.
Facts.
Get rid of the dreamer. That's gone. I've nailed that.
Yeah.
The dreamer's dead.
The nightmare.
The dreamer's dead.
The nightmare's who remains.
This is turning into a proper like villain arc, isn't it?
Yeah, it's about to. I'm just gonna go on like I'm just gonna put a whole bunch of dark and dreary music on every reel from now on.
Once the season's done, then you can be like, the dream is dead. You know, go on, what's he called? You know, Darren Brown.
Yeah,
not Darren Brown. No, what's the guy from Bradford? The magician from Bradford.
David Blaine.
Oh,
no.
David Blaine.
Oh, what's he
Yeah,
called?
David Blaine's not from Bradford.
Hang on, what's he called?
Magician from Bradford. What's he called?
Bradford.
Dynamo. Bloody Dynamo.
I knew it was a D.
Did you see that he buried himself and then climbed out of 6 feet of dirt?
No.
Like a reincarnation.
Oh, mate, it's on TV. It's such a good TV show. You can do that with yourself. You can bury yourself in a coffin and then climb your way out and be like, the dream is dead.
Yeah.
There you go. You can have that for free, bro.
Thank you, brother. Thank you.
Yeah. I didn't get too many questions because my Instagram's absolutely tanked.
Mate, mine as well.
Yeah.
I don't know what's going on.
You know what? I think Instagram as a whole has just tanked recently, to be fair, because like I said, this year I was not getting the engagement that I was getting last year. I legit get a million. Like I got 1 million views on my last post just before I went out to Ireland, and I can't say I was I'm far more impressive now, so it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. You need to just start lying and say that you're 18, natty.
Yeah.
There you go. There's another great content idea. Just lie.
I think I can get away with 24.
24, natty, professional basketball player, 6'4".
6'4".
Yeah.
2 years of training, which is not far from the truth.
I think people would believe if I said 6'3".
Yeah.
You don't meet me in person.
Anything for the algorithm.
Yeah.
Right. Let's get stuck into some questions, shall we?
Have you got any questions, Tom?
I have.
Oh, good. I have 3.
Cool. So, where does
normally get around 10 to 15.
But between the two of you, then it's like 16.
I got 4. So, where does Yemi see himself in 10 years' time? The nightmare.
I see myself as Mr. Olympia.
There we go.
How long do you think it'll take? Right, so I feel like I know you reasonably well now. Olympia qualification this year. Where do you place next year in the Olympia?
Anywhere in the top 10, anything before 8th. So
really?
Anything from 8th to 1st in that range.
Top 8.
First
top
quarter.
8 Olympia.
First Olympia.
2025.
2025. And then second year will be the statement year. And if I'm not in the top 3, I'm winning.
Fuck, you heard it here first, people.
No, not here first. Yemi says this all the time. Yemi backs Yemi 7 days a week and twice on Sunday.
You fucking need to, though, man.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
no, I'm the biggest
I love
fan.
it.
No, you're not. No, you're not. I'm my biggest fan.
Yeah. No, honestly, like this is the similar mindset that I'm going into my next prep. I've already always gone in with like this like underdog mindset, like, oh, you know, I'll just do the best I can, and wherever I fall, like, which is true to a degree, but at the same time, it's like, back your fucking self.
Yeah.
You know, I'm
Yeah.
telling
here's the
myself
thing,
I am
right?
going to win
You
my pro
can't
card.
control your results. But what you can control is how good you look, what you did during the prep, what you did in your off season, and what you're going to do on that stage. As long as you bring your fucking best, then you should believe in the fucking result you can get.
Yeah.
Especially if you prove to yourself time and time again that you are good enough to be in that mix.
Yeah.
If you believe you're good enough to be, I don't know, fucking regional winner, then you're going to win the regionals that you go to, assuming that you do everything you need to. You can't slack off just because you think you're good enough.
Yeah, definitely.
No one became Mr. Olympia or no one become world champion by accident.
No.
You know, everyone that's done that and achieved that believed in themselves and told themselves they were going to fucking do it.
And they knew that it was going to happen at some point. You know?
Yeah. And you've got to have that self-belief.
To even enter the shows, you've got to have some element of self-belief, haven't you?
100%. If you go into a show and you have no self-belief, then I guess if you get a good result, then that can change that.
Mm-hmm.
If you have 100%. No self-belief, you're not done. You're not cooked. But with that being said, you know, self-belief is going to be the biggest driving factor for your greatness. And I think that a lot of people, they almost feel like if somebody says something and it is like, you know, I believe in myself, they almost want to dim their light. You know, they want to be like, no, you know, you can't do that because I don't believe I can do that. So why can you believe that you can do that?
Yeah.
And I understand that mindset. It does make somewhat sense to me. But at the same time, it's like, I'm not doing this to just do this. And I know that I'm good enough to do what I want to do. And I've proven that to myself time and time again, right? You know, even when it came to the pro card, people told me you're not going to win the card. You know, people told me I'm not going to win this show, whatever. That's fine. The goal isn't to allow people to believe in me before I get it done. The goal is to get it done. And that's that, you know?
Yeah.
You know, this show didn't go the way I wanted, but shit, I got a good fucking result out of it, you know?
Yeah, definitely.
So it's like what they say, right? Shoot for stars, and if you fail, you land in the clouds, right? You know, that was the cloud I landed on right there.
Amazing. Ian Talbot Balfe. So we have this listener who asked really inappropriate questions.
Answer it.
But it's not inappropriate this week.
Oh.
I know.
Wow.
Yeah, mate, honestly, mate, he's asked questions like, would you rather... Oh, I'm not...
don't even go there.
Yeah, I'm not going... We can't go there. We can't go there. What country in Africa has the best food?
I'm going to back Nigeria 24, so Nigeria.
I can't say I've eaten too much African food.
Listen.
I've had like Moroccan.
When we're done, I'm going to take you to a Nigerian restaurant. I took Ross there.
In Manchester?
Yeah, in Manchester. I took Ross there, and he loved it. He was like, it's tantalizing my taste buds.
In his Irish accent.
I grabbed, so next door they got a suya place, right? And suya is like grilled meat with a little bit of spice. And it's got onions and like tomato on the side. Mate, unbelievable. So I've taken Dan there, right, as well, when he came to the UK. And Dan grew up in Nigeria. And he was like, this is the
Dan,
first
IFBB Pro.
IFBB Pro, yeah.
Yeah.
He was like, this is the first time I've had Nigerian food since I've left Nigeria that tastes like Nigeria.
No way.
We're going to have to go there.
Yeah.
Bruv, Dan gave it the seal of approval. I told him that my barber took me there. And he was like, what? Your barber? I was like, bro, he knows about food, bro. Listen, my barber is the GOAT when it comes to food. If you need any food recommendations, hit him up.
I'm actually a 1/8 Nigerian myself, as as confusing as that sounds, mate. But
I
you
need to
know,
say the M word.
I clearly missed the memo from genetics. You know, like something went wrong. I've just got like the Mo Farah runner genetics. You know.
Yeah. You got that tiny white man penis as well, ain't you, Tom?
Yeah. Oh.
Do you have big calves?
Huh?
No.
You have
Absolutely
big
not.
calves. So that's where the Nigerian comes then.
Yeah. I can relate to you there, brother. So next question. How do you mentally prepare for a top set? Place yourself in a dark place.
No, you know what I try to do, right? I try to clear my mind because I believe that when it comes down to bodybuilding, it's about having the best connection with the muscles. And I don't care about moving a heavy amount of weight or doing it for a whole bunch of sets or a whole bunch of reps. I care about what I can feel. So if I go in it with with too much hype or too much anything, what it tends to do is it tends to throw off my mind to muscle connection. I've done it a few times. I still do sometimes, especially when it's just heavy and I feel like shit. I do hype myself up and I get like, I'm a weird one. I get some R&B on.
Interesting.
I'll be listening to like slow songs, bro.
That kind of links with the question that I've got. What's your go-to song that gets you in the zone?
Yeah, you know what? My go-to, right, is like some Weekend.
The Weekend.
Yeah, like, and
Getting
it's like
your feels a little
we're
bit.
not even talking like new Weekend. We're talking old school Weekend, like proper, like something like a Montreal or something like that. Like,
I'll try it later today.
yeah, try it. Just get real, like
Your waist just goes like this, Josh.
Yeah.
like,
I just start walking around the gym like.
Yemi gave me the secret. It's the Weekend. There.
Love it.
Amazing.
So you just asked the question, Josh.
Yep.
Starting and finish macros for prep. Well, technically you're not finished with prep yet, but where did your food start and where is it at right now?
So started about 400 carb. So it was about, no, we didn't. We started at 3,500, pulled down to about 3,100. Then I went onto a dig that got me to about 3,500-ish for the M Pro with 70-minute cardio. Then
70 minutes cardio a day.
Yeah.
And is that in one go or split into two?
Yeah. Sorry, it was 60 minutes cardio. I split it half. Actually, was it? No, I feel like I did 70 when I came back from Gymshark. So yeah, 70-minute cardio. And then we came back up to about 3,010 again. So 400 carb. Then back on the digging phase, we went down to about 2,500 was about my dig. Then we pulled back up slowly, and then like we just slowly started putting on like 200 calories. Like,
yeah,
ended up to get me out the dig. It was about 3,200. Then by the end of my biggest day of food carb loading was about 5,300 calories.
Nice.
So we did. Actually, no, 6,100 calories. We did the 1,000-gram carb day.
Oh, nice. Very casual.
So we did the first day of carb loading was 600. Second day was 700. Third day was 850. Fourth day was 1,000 gram. Then 850 again.
Not bad.
That's a lot of food.
That's a lot of food.
Yeah. Jesus. My questions have just gone off. Hang on. Right, Yemi. This is obviously for you because me and Tom ain't IFBB pros. Tips for young lifters if IFBB pro is the aim.
My biggest tip, if you're young, is to take the IFBB aim out of your mind and focus on falling in love with the gym, falling in love with the process, loving, getting up and eating your meals, getting up and prepping, getting up and, doing your cardio, doing what it takes to be a very good amateur. Because you work it up in steps, right? You start off as, at the bottom of the totem pole. You are the worst amateur when you first start bodybuilding, no matter who you are. Even if you've got the best genetics, even if you go from amateur and in your first prep, you win your pro card. The minute you start bodybuilding, you are the worst bodybuilder in the world.
Yeah.
And you slowly start building your way up. So what your ladder should be, especially if you're just, you're not that guy that's going to go from their first show to a pro card, which most people aren't. You go very good, winning your first show. That should be your first goal. And then you go until you win your first show. Then you go and, maybe go to the MPC. Then it's about winning that first class, then getting your first overall. And then you can start looking at getting that card, Even sometimes you might have to be good enough to get a couple overalls. There's so many guys I see getting overall wins. They'll come into a pro qualifier, they get smoked. They're fifth, they're fourth. Look at, even this weekend, there was a guy that did classic. He won the race Rick last year overall. Then this weekend, second call out.
Second call out in the amateur class.
In his class.
Wow.
The gap between a regional winner and a pro card winner is harsh.
Do you think it's a little bit confusing though? How, and use you as an example, how some people can go from not even winning their class in a regional to winning the pro card.
It is extremely confusing, but if you take that result out of it, so the class that I didn't win the 2 weeks before.
Yeah. And obviously there's a lot there was a big difference between you at your regional and you at the pro show, but you just see a lot of people that even win regional shows and then go on to do a pro qualifier, and they're not even getting into the overall to be in the conversation.
Yeah. And I think the reason why is because so with a regional, right, it's about who turns up. With a pro qualifier, everyone's turning up.
Yeah.
It's very unlikely that you're going to turn up to a shit pro regional. It happens.
Yeah.
I've seen it. There was 2, I would say pretty weak pro qualifiers last year, but they're anomalies. You come to I don't think I've seen a bad regional this year. Pro qualifier this year so far anyway. They've all been solid. At least been 2 guys that could go pro in each.
Yeah.
At least, some 3, 4, So it's just about, the fact of the matter is, just because you won a regional doesn't mean you're going to win your pro card.
Yeah.
And for example, when I did the Arnold 21, Kaya got 5th in his class and I got 3rd in my class, even though he beat me for the overall. Mm-hmm. And also it's I think a lot of people, they get a bit complacent, they get wins and they start to think that it's easy.
Yeah.
So then they're and then they eat their food and they do their steps and they do their cardio, but they're not doing their steps and their cardio that they were doing their steps and their cardio when they were prepping.
Yeah. Yeah. They're not doing it with purpose. They're doing it because, they're just ticking a box.
Yeah. I'll always say this, you don't just go into the cardio and just half-ass it. I just need to do some cardio today. You attack your cardio. You take your cardio. Your cardio should be attacked just like your training.
Definitely.
Yeah. That's why I was able to get into shape for the M-Pro in basically 12 days. Mm-hmm. Because I attacked my cardio. I didn't just do it.
Yeah.
I was hard-ass grafting. If you saw my stories, I was always posting. I was fucking dripping sweat after every session, because I was fucking pushing myself every single time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's a difference between doing something, ticking the box, versus doing something, staying active, and actually getting it done to a good standard. That's what makes the difference when you're getting in those, those deeper, darker stages of a prep.
Even when you're doing your steps, your step count doesn't count if you go up the slope or if you go down the slope. So it's your choice if you want to go up the slope or go down the slope. It's your choice if you want to walk home with your bag full from your food shop, or you do your food shop and you get in the car and drive home.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just
Even
with
your bag,
steps.
tell me your fucking steps aren't harder.
Yeah, I always like, I'm really aware of like the speed per kilometer.
Yeah.
So like on my watch when I track it, it'll be like, 10 minutes, 30 seconds per kilometer. And as prep goes on, I try and increase it so that I know that I'm not getting complacent or, slowing down.
Yeah.
Tom, have you got any more questions?
I think it's probably the most important one of the entire day, Yemi.
Oh, here we go.
Has Yemi ever measured his waist?
The measurement I've got is 28 inches, but I've never measured my waist like a day out.
You need to get that done, and you need to report back to us.
Yeah, I'll do that. But I think the closest to show I ever measured was about 5 or 6 days out last year, and I got 28 inches.
There's your viral content, mate. You know, like going viral for having the smallest waist.
Okay, for the British, I'll get a tape measure, and I will film myself measuring my waist, and I'll put that as just a video. And I reckon
do it. I think that's a great idea, honestly. Because people are gonna want to know. Yeah, I was looking at your stage photos from the last show you just did, and those guys on the stage of you have got tiny waists. They've got such good shape, and then you look over at you, and it's just like deleted. It's like you've removed your organs.
I think a lot of these guys, like, because the guy that won, right, there was a point where I was standing. It was like just when finals was about to start. I'm standing there, right, and I just look over, and this guy was like this.
I love you.
And it was so long that I looked at him staring. I was like, "What the fuck?" And he hadn't stopped. So I was like, "Ross, why is this guy staring at me?" Then Ross kind of looked back and saw him staring. He was just like, "To be fair, mate, I'll stare too." And it was such an intense stare. Like, it was proper like,
Jesus,
staring at your package, bro.
Yeah, I was like, golly, what's going on right now? I mean, it doesn't make sense, but fuck me, it was fucking awkward.
Brilliant.
Josh, any more questions at all?
None whatsoever. Flown through.
Love it. Well, Yemi, mate, should we leave it there? I think you're a busy man. You got shit to do, haven't you? You're still on prep technically right now, mate.
Yeah, I'm actually like chilling out and just enjoying the week. I'm at home, as I said, so I'm just gonna enjoy the week, enjoy some food, and then we get back to it on Monday.
Nice.
Sweet.
3 weeks.
Then, what, it would be 3 weeks out then, won't it?
It'll be 4 weeks out from Monday.
4 weeks out from Monday.
Is 4 weeks out now.
Yeah.
The Olympia.
Oh, yeah.
It's 31 days, so it's weird. That's 5 weeks.
Got you. Okay.
4.5 now, I guess.
Exciting.
Well,
Yemi, thank you so much for joining us this morning. It has been an absolute pleasure. I am certain that the listeners will find this podcast inspiring because I have found it very inspiring. So yeah, thank you for your time. Tom, thank you for yours, as always.
Anytime.
No worries, mate. No worries.
You guys
Yemi,
are like friends, man.
You tell people where they can find you.
Yes. All right. Instagram, Yemi, IFBB Pro. TikTok, The Dreamer Son. And YouTube, Yem Fit. Because I had an old, because they won't let me change my name.
You've got 3 names, and now The Nightmare.
Yeah. And now
unbelievable.
Went from The Dreamer to The Nightmare too, so golly. You know what happened, right? So like I had The Dreamer Son as my TikTok and Instagram, and then Ross was like, "You need to put your name there." I was like, I don't really want to, but I was like, fuck it, I'll just do it to be more professional. But now I'm kind of having FOMO, and I kind of want The Dreamer Son back.
Get it back.
I want it back, but we'll figure it out.
Either The Dreamer Son or The Nightmare.
Or The Nightmare.
Lovely.
I feel like The Nightmare might be taken now.
Nah. It's not. You can just message him and be like, give me your Instagram handle, bro.
Right now. I really wanted like Instagram handle just Yemi.
That'd be cool.
Someone has that and they have like 0 followers. So I messaged them and they have not replied me.
Right. Well, anyway, people, thank you very much for listening. Go follow Yemi. Big season, end to the season come up for him. So we're wishing you all the best, mate. We're going to be following along on the journey with you. And other than that, thank you very much for listening, people. And we'll catch you in the next one. Cheers.
Peace.
Bye.
Bye.
Balloons are coming. Look.
Look at all the balloons, man.